What's going on, guys? Welcome back to Touchdowns to Home Runs. My name's Bernie. Thank you for joining us for this post-game show. I hope that your Saturday night is going very, very well. I'm filming this video just before the conclusion of the game between the Michigan Wolverines and the Minnesota Golden Gophers, and I have to say this was an absolutely phenomenal game by Michigan. We're going to get to the game summary and the box scores in just a second, but I mean, this is two teams that had huge turnovers in their players from last year. They both lost some big time talent, and we had questions about both of these teams, but boy, did the veterans for Michigan, particularly in the rushing game and on defense, did they ever step up? And I mean, Michigan's going to be very, very happy to walk away with not only a win against 21 Minnesota, but a very, very favorable win as well. Anyways, let's get into the game summary. So Michigan had probably the worst start they could have asked for. I mean, it was not a very good first drive. I was a little disappointed with the way that Joe Milton played, especially on that third down play. I mean, you could see the pressure that was coming off the edges. He decides to roll out, get sacked, 4th and 30, go for the punt. It gets blocked by Minnesota. Minnesota starts with the ball on the 14. Obviously, Tanner Morgan had a huge breakout season last year, and they cash in that. They go up 7-0. And I mean, that's just a nightmare start. That's not what you want to give Tanner Morgan. That's not the way you want to start your season either. But I mean, Charbonnet, huge 70-yard run to bounce back, 7-7. Michigan's defense started to play really well. They looked good, particularly to start that game in the first quarter. They gave Michigan a lot of chances to really take away this game, but they had some issues with kicking. Obviously, both teams had some issues with the kicking. They missed a field goal early, but Michigan bounced back with a scoop and score. Defense started to get more and more stops. One thing that I have here, the defensive line was just insane. And I mean, the defensive line is probably one of the more veteran parts of the team that we had returning. The pressure that they got back, the defense in general was really good, and we're going to get to that later on in this video. I mean, Kwity Paye in the second half was absolutely sensational. Cameron McGrone, all the guys that you would expect really stepped up for Michigan, which is a very positive sign. Obviously, the big thing was Minnesota's kicker. Obviously, they didn't have their starting kicker. Gave Michigan a lot of opportunities on special teams. One of those we saw with Michigan up 14-7, I think. A kick returned right around the 10-yard line led to another touchdown. Minnesota scored again. Michigan kept scoring. It was really back and forth in that first half. I wish that Michigan was able to pull away more in some of the early parts, later first quarter, early second quarter, but they made it 28-17. Minnesota goes for the fake punt. Michigan gets the stop. They lead 35-17 at the half. And I mean, the second half was really no good for Minnesota. They didn't do what they wanted to do. And Michigan comes away with the victory in the end by a score of 49-24 I have at the time that I'm filming this video. But now let's get to the box score, and I want to start with Michigan, and obviously we have to start with Joe Milton. And I mean, a lot of questions. No Shea Patterson this year, no starting experience for Joe Milton, but 15 for 22, 225 yards, a touchdown. I mean, Joe Milton was really good. He added another 8 carries for 52 yards, another touchdown on the running side of the football for him. And I thought that he made some really good decisions. A lot of people know Joe Milton, his downside is his accuracy, but I thought he did a really good job of making good decisions when he was under pressure, getting out of the pocket, if options weren't there, being able to use his athleticism to get extra yards. Obviously, like I was saying before, some veterans in the running game. I mean, the running game, Michigan did what they wanted to. Hassan Haskins, 6 carries, 82 yards. Charbonnet added 70 yards. Joe Milton, 52 yards. They had 5 touchdowns on the ground. I mean, yeah, the running game was absolutely phenomenal. The receiving core, Ronnie Bell had a good game. But one thing that I want to point out is Ronnie Bell was the only player with over 2 catches. And they had, I think, 9 or 10 different receivers who made catches in this game. And I mean, Michigan's offense looks so deep today, and I'm really happy with that. And then obviously, like we were saying before, the defense was absolutely phenomenal. And you look at the guys that you expected to do it. Kwity Paye in the second half was sensational. Cameron McGrone. I mean, you could just go down and down the list. And besides the penalties on the defensive side of the ball, Michigan was pretty sound. You wish that you could have some of the pass interference plays back, and I think that we also need to work on man coverage because we did get beat quite a few times one-on-one. I can think of the 2 deep balls, and then obviously, if we're talking about penalties, obviously the face mask was also not good, leading to one of the Minnesota touchdowns. But let's flip over to Minnesota. I mean, it was really 3 players for Minnesota. I mean, they obviously lost just a ton of talent overall. Especially, Tyler Johnson was the big one that hurts, and Minnesota still needs that other guy other than Bateman to be able to step up. Tanner Morgan, 18 for 29, 197, a touchdown, interception. He was okay. He wasn't phenomenal. I think that they still lack a lot of weapons on offense. Ibrahim in the running game, I mean, he was their guy today, 26 carries, 140 yards. Michigan had trouble stopping him. And then obviously Rashad Bateman, he had 9 of the team's 18 catches, 101 of the team's 197 receiving yards. And I mean, he's one of the best wide receivers in the country. He's right up there with everybody else. And I mean, he showed why here. I think that some of their other guys, Bell played all right. He had the 45-yard catch. They need another guy to step up to fill the shoes of Tyler Johnson, and I'm not sure where that's going to come. But the issue for Minnesota today, I mean, other than looking at some of the offensive woes or defensive woes, I mean, it was the kicking. They gave up 49 points to Michigan, but Michigan pretty much always had terrific field position. And you look at the fake punt, just some of the short balls that Michigan got, the returnable balls that Michigan got. And I mean, that was a huge concern for them. It went both ways. I mean, Michigan's kicking wasn't that great either. Moody was not phenomenal, but I mean, definitely special teams advantage lean towards Michigan. Before we end this video and go on to what to expect for next week, let's just take a quick look at the game scores here. Let me just pull it up. The team stats. Minnesota actually had more first downs than Michigan, 21-18. They weren't terrific on third down, but again, Minnesota was not awful. A lot of this game had to do with the special teams not being able to put themselves in favorable positions, and that's just unfortunate that their kicker was hurt this week. But yeah, they got outpassed, outrushed. No real surprise there. 2 turnovers to 0 as well. But I think that if you're a Minnesota Golden Gophers fan, there's a lot of positives here. I mean, there's a lot to look forward to next week, and I think that you guys have an easy game next week again. A good bounce back game next week against Maryland, who lost 43-3 against Northwestern today, and I don't even know what to say about that game. I mean, that's just something else, 43-3. But that should be a good bounce back game for next season, for you guys to be able to figure out sort of what's happening offensively, figure out the defense a bit, especially the special teams, and hopefully in week 3 you guys are back to the 11-2 Minnesota that we saw last year. For Michigan, we play Michigan State next week. They lost to Rutgers today. Not a very good performance from them, but obviously Michigan State is a huge rivalry of ours, and Michigan State hasn't been good in the past, but those games are always fun to watch. So I'm really excited for that. And the way that we were playing today, the way that our coaching looked, really favorable. I'm really excited for what to expect going forward. Hopefully finally we can get some of those big wins that we've been hoping for in the past, particularly looking at that very last game against Ohio State, and hopefully we can get into the Big Ten championship as well. So a lot of really positives here for Michigan. I think if you're a Wolverines fan like me, I think you step away from this game, you're really happy in what was supposed to be sort of a rebuilding year, and you're really happy with what we're at with all of the young guys. This should be a really fun season. And I think if you're a Minnesota fan, you just look at the game as, hey, this had a lot to do with the kicker, first game of the season, haven't played in a long time. So I think some positives for both teams. I'm very happy to get this win as a Michigan fan. If you guys did make it to this point in the video, thank you. I hope you guys like the post-game shows. I mean, I really like making these. So if you guys like the video, make sure to leave a thumbs up, comment your thoughts on the game down in the comment section below, and subscribe to Touchdowns to Home Runs for more previews that we do early on in the week, and also the post-game shows that we do every Saturday and Sunday for college football and the NFL. As always, guys, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.